Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, proudly presents to you another fantastic episode of 15 Minutes of Fandom. That's right. During this segment, we pick one, and we mean one wrestling fan that we feels stands out from the rest, and we bring them on here to find out what their story is and their love is for professional wrestling. With that being said, here are the introductions. In the first corner, we have the greatest thing on God's Vino. No, we're not talking about money. Mary Jane or Popeye Spinach. He is the travel guy of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He is Rob Bates, and you are not. And in the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive. Life is great, repping 592, living in the 718, no cap, straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. And our special guest tonight is a young man who is part of one of the most impressive media groups, not just podcasts, media groups in professional wrestling. That's right. They do watch parties. They do sponsorships of numerous wrestling events. And to top it all off, they also do all of that on top of hosting a weekly podcast. Everybody, welcome to the show. The man behind the tech is the Wiz.
Woo! What's happening, everybody? Yes.
Nothing,
Remy, Rob, thank you, thank you.
nothing much, man. Nothing much. I just gotta say, it's an honor to have another member of the Jobber Tears podcast on our show. For those of y'all watching, we had Mr. Black on last night, and now we have Is the Wiz. That's right. Now, for those of you that don't know, Is the man who's actually behind the cameras for Jobber Tears. That's right. He's a man that's manning, you know, he's doing all the backstage work and whatnot, making things happen for them as well too. And one of the people, I'm sure there's numerous that are helping with that too. So these are one of the guys that you're actually looking at right now. And I just gotta say, man, y'all do very impressive. Like I was telling Mr. Black yesterday, there's two levels of respect with me. There's respect, and then there's utmost respect. And it's people like y'all and those wrestling girls that I actually have the utmost respect for. And the reason why, I don't know if you saw interview yesterday, but the reason why is because many of these podcasts, they actually, and there's nothing, I'm not trying to stab at anybody at all,
Mm-hmm.
stab at anybody, but many of these podcasts, some may sit down and talk about current events in professional wrestling. That's cool. Some of them may actually sit down and talk to actual wrestlers in the industry. Fine, that's cool too. Some people do both. But the fact that y'all actually do all that, and y'all turn around and give back to the community by having a watch party, and you could just be in the comfort of your homes watching. Like, for example, this past weekend, y'all actually had a watch party for WrestleMania at Legends. Y'all didn't have to do that in y'all homes or y'all could have been guys, you know, watching it. Like, okay, you are a wrestling fan, I have that myself. We're gonna watch it from homes and whatnot. Just be easy. But y'all actually took that extra step to when you have a bar in New York City, show that event, and you've done it before. That says a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Like Mr. Black said, yesterday, in the other episode, it takes a village. It takes a couple of people to to not only play their roles, but to also contribute. So with for the view when it comes to the viewing parties, we try to give the experience of like watching the pay-per-view, even though people might not be at whatever city or wherever city that it's at. We try to like give them that experience with other wrestling fans that love the same shit. That's what we try to do. That's what we try to like bring people together, bring people together in ways that not many people would have thought of. So with the viewing parties, it's like you can like make friends, like talk a lot of shit, wax poetic about about matches and favorite wrestlers and other stuff that doesn't have to even do that doesn't even have to do about wrestling, and still have that sort of connectivity within that realm. So for me to like deal with the Twitterverse of the Jobbeteers, and having and being able to like interact with people who have different opinions on whether it be professional wrestling or sports entertainment. I think it just opens people. I just feel like it opens people's eyes to like so much more than just just the basics here. And for me to be a part of a part of this crew, a part of this squad, and doing whatever I can to help the brand like grow higher and higher. Like that's I don't know how to put it into words. It's like it's an opportunity that I'm willing to like just show up and show out every damn time, you know. And I'm
Yeah,
grateful for it.
yeah, y'all definitely did work, man. I remember y'all had. I remember one time y'all had another get together. It wasn't even a video. It was
Mhm.
a jobber talk. Um,
Yeah.
and that's when it had. That was like I call it the all-star panel. Not only was jobber people, you had people like Black Wrestling
Mm-hmm.
NYC Demon Dean. You had
Mm-hmm.
Pete Rosado, owner of the We Are Wrestling promotion,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you had, of course, those wrestling girls, and I was like amazed. I was very inspiring, and as a matter of fact, if it wasn't for that, here's how y'all explain. If it wasn't for that Jobber Talk event that y'all had back in what November, it was November, I was released.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never gone. I probably would have never known and gone to that We Are Wrestling event the following
Yeah. Yeah. It was all a dream.
yeah,
Yeah.
the following month. And that was a great event. I actually enjoyed that. Shout out to Pete Rosado. And I was like, yeah, I was just amazed at it. And it's funny because it's funny how they say like it's a small world because I remember I was on our I was filming parts of it, like
Mm-hmm.
the the actual panel on our podcast Instagram accounts. And as I was filming, a guy was like, "Wait, hold up, Remy?" And I'm like, yeah." And he's like, "It's me," and I'm like, "I don't get." It. He's like, "Oh, it's me." And knowing it was actually Nisho Soul, who was actually
Mm-hmm.
a past member on our show, 15 Minutes of Fandom. And I was like, "Oh snap! Wow, I didn't know." He's like, "Yeah, I saw you on the Racing site." And I was like, "Wow, yeah, yeah." So that was a really great thing y'all put together, man. Yeah, y'all just are just awesome, man. You know?
Yeah, that's just the power of like you never know who's you never know who's watching. Like hell, even myself included. When y'all asked me to get on the show, it was like me,
But
really.
here's the thing. Let me ask you something. And I challenge you this. And I think every time I have somebody that doubts themselves, I'm going to challenge them on that. If we would interview Ivan the Superfan,
Mm,
if we would interview Izzy, Bailey, the other Izzy, uh,
mm.
fangirl, who's now,
Uh, yeah,
if we would interview the Prime CM Punk, and let's be honest, let's even take it down. If we
yeah,
would interview Seth Wilkins, Janelle Garcia, great people, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking that with them too.
fantastic people. Hmm.
Zach, who else? Kiki, that duo, whatever they're going
Uh,
by,
Shout out to Keeks. Mm, mm, mm,
you know. And who's another great set of just other people in general, you know.
Hmm.
Ariel from Power Bombs, Drizzy from Power Power Bombs.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
why why are you not ready to, or why should I be surprised? You know, you're a fan like everybody else, right?
True,
You're a
true.
fan like everybody else. And see, that's the beauty of what that's the beauty of what we do at Ringside Side. We don't care if you're a popular fan or not. That doesn't matter to us. The fact
Mm,
that once you're a fan, we want to hear from you.
mm.
I don't care how loud. Do you know? I'm gonna tell you a story. I don't mean to be rambling, but I
Go
had
ahead. Go
se-
ahead.
several couple years ago, and Rob could even confirm it. We
Mm,
had there was an AEW. This I think
mm,
I think shortly before the pandemic, and there was a guy dressed in a Scooby Doo outfit, and I was like, everybody, people were saying, people were saying that um they were saying mostly good things about the guy in the Scooby Doo outfit. But
mm-hmm.
all my brain was thinking was like, I want to know what that guy's story is. I want to know what his story is. I'm not cracking up him. Sometimes I wear flamboyant gear. I wear
Mm,
bright colors. You know, I'm not gonna judge him, but I want to know what his story is. I got
mm,
him on the show. Surprised. I thought he wouldn't answer, but surprisingly, I got him. We got him on the show. Come to find out, it was three brothers. He has two other brothers that also in wrestling. We
yeah.
were able to get the other brothers on the show. Okay. Next thing you know, that same other brother that we interviewed told us, "Hey, I'm actually going to be training at the Nightmare Factory."
Ooh.
I told him all the best, best of luck. We wish you nothing but success. Came back a couple months later, showing us a video of him training and doing body slams and working out and so on. I
Mm,
said, "Great work. You're doing great. You're looking great." Next thing you know, um, it was a couple weeks after that. Lo and behold, shows us that he graduated with this second class,
mm.
graduated from the Nightmare Factory.
Oh,
That
good shit.
would end up becoming the Diamond Sheik, and the
Mm.
Diamond Sheik, he was the one that crafted the Dynamite Diamond Ring that MJF wears.
Ooh.
And he also made two appearances, or I think three appearances. Actually made several appearances on AEW. So it just goes to show that once you get the whole standard thing, the only way you wouldn't interview somebody on the show is if they're a scumbag. If they
Mm,
say something that disrespect somebody about their ethnicity or their lifestyle or anything,
mm-hmm.
this will be like, okay, well, we're gonna stay away from that. We don't want to deal with that. But for the most part, we haven't had any like scumbags on our show really. Thank goodness. But yeah, so yeah, you're definitely, yeah, man. We definitely would have wanted to have you on. We don't care about it. I mean, definitely, when you're a fan just like us, man, we're normal people. I mean, you cut us. I mean, you cut me, I bleed. I mean, don't cut me because I need my blood, but still, yeah. But
Yeah.
I just gotta ask you, man.
Mhm.
How did you become a fan of professional wrestling? Like, what was the event or the pay per view that you saw that?
Hmm. That's a pretty good question because I can pinpoint different people that like got my ear and plus my eye on wrestling, but not to the degree where it's like, oh, I gotta see where they come from because back then we didn't have the internet was still developing like 1.0 type shit. And it's like I seen the first person I probably saw was either Randy Savage in them Slim Jim commercials, or does anybody remember Three Ninjas? The movie Three Ninjas,
Yeah,
and then I think they made a second sequel.
yeah, it's like Sky Mountain or whatever,
High
Dark
Noon,
Mountains, High Noon, something like that. Yeah,
High Noon, yeah, High Noon, I remember the trailer, and it's like Hulk Hogan was in that flick. I didn't see I didn't see the movie, but I saw him. I'm like, hmm. I'm like, what? I'm like, where did I find this? Where did I hear this person before? And then somewhere along the line, like wrestling, like came to me because it's like take it back to like 99 or like 2000 ish, 2000 or maybe 2001. It was like elementary school, and like like most of the boys in my class were like wearing like Austin shirts and like DX shirts, and like doing the suck it, the signs, and getting all sorts of trouble and shit. Uh, and it was like through them, I kind of got to know. I kind of got to know some of the people that were on TV, whether it be The Rock or like Stone Cold or like DX or like Shawn Michaels in them, and then everybody was talking about WrestleMania X7, which by far like one of the best WrestleManias like that was ever put on. Well, especially with like Stone Cold versus The Rock. But but mind you, this was late. This was like later. This was like later. Like the X7 and then X8 came after, and like The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, Icon versus Icon. That moment in general, like made me like become a wrestling fan. It made me become a wrestling fan somewhat, but it just came out of nowhere. It was like, oh, I like this shit. So like watching WWE like in the back end of the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era and whatnot, and then like going straight into the Ruthless Aggression Era, which really like captivated me to like really watch Raw and SmackDown religiously, or like today's kids would not know, but like everybody remembers like Sunday Night Heat, Confidential, and like all these other shows that they had on TV before the network even came about. Like I've because like seeing people like that, seeing like Brock or like John Cena or like Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, and like all these other people pop into my television screen, and it's like this is so entertaining. This is so entertaining, so I kept watching it. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Like there was that, and then there was Impact. I probably seen like the early days, but didn't really get into like the Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff stuff, because I didn't know what was what, who was who, and what was what. Through that era, so we kind of skipped over that. But anyway, fast forward to 2017. 2017, you know, I was on a high. I broke up with my ex girlfriend. Hmm. Because shit happens, and it's like I needed to remind myself of like who it like build the pieces back up, and like remind myself of who I am, and like really just dig. And mind you, my first WWE live event was an NXT takeover. It was 3, when Adam Cole came through at the end of the show, and that was like the first time I've seen like a Bullet Club shirt, or like um like all these Cody shirts, and like all these people with wrestling belts, and titles and like Money in the Bank briefcases, and I'm like, hmm. And like, who are these people? And then like going through meet and greets with I remember because that was like the third or the fourth year they had SummerSlam at the Barclays, and there met Sasha Banks, Finn Balor, and the New Day, and then across the street, there was a meet and greet with Mark Henry, and it was like it was like a whole ass community that wasn't that I didn't know existed, and it was like, oh my god, these people like wrestling just like me, and that's how I knew about them. That's how I knew about the viewing parties. That's how I knew about the viewing parties. That's how I met with Sir Wilkins and Janelle and the rest of the gang, and it just kind of snowballed into me kind of like going outside, like exploring what was outside, like like my little mindset where I was only watching either WWE or Impact. Sometimes it was like it was like me going into watching Ring of Honor, me watching New Japan for the first time, seeing Okada versus Omega One for the first time, and I remember like when I saw that match, it was like, oh my god, what the fuck have I been missing lately? And then it just snowballed into me, like expanding the scope of like what I see on TV, and then just seeing like everything that happens like behind the scenes, and like like just the technical aspects of it, and me like gaining like a better understanding of like how things go, of how things are set, how stories are set up, like moves, and like how things are orchestrated, because at a certain point, it's like you kind of understand that it's like, wrestling is like predetermined, quote, I'm using air quotes here, but it just led me into like having this love to be not only a fan, but also like also to be like an observant type of like, if this is a person I like, and there's a legitimate reason why, and there's a person I don't like, and there's kind of a legitimate reason why, and we can wax poetic about it all together, and not get judged for it. It was like it just made me like happy that it's like I'm able to talk about these things, and also enjoy these things without getting too much, without getting like too caught up in like the semantics.
Wow, that's cool, man. Yeah, and it's crazy how when you go to like a wrestling event, you see like so many people that are into the same thing, and that actually cosplay and have the same media outlets that y'all do. It's just awesome. Like I remembered the first WWE event that I went to was SummerSlam 2018,
Mm,
and I was pitching the concept of this same segment, 15 minutes of fandom, to two guys. And I was like, yeah, when I start a podcast, I'm gonna have this segment. They were like so amazed at the concept of it, and they're like, "Yo, that's cool." Da, da, da. And then after I remembered, this was at the same event, but this was outside the building. I told this one young lady that that we were gonna be starting a wrestling event soon. No, we were gonna be starting a podcast soon. And she was like, "Yeah, we have one too." And then she gave me a whole placard, and I was like, and it's just funny how you meet at these, how you like the people you meet there. Like I met Grimm's Toy Show there one time, and I was like, "Wow, I just saw this man on YouTube a couple months ago, and now here he is, in person at the same event I was." and it's just amazing. It's just the atmosphere. It just hits different when you go to like these wrestling events, whether it's WWE or AEW or
Mhm.
you know indies. It just hits different.
It definitely does, especially when you like go outside of your outside your comfort zone, or like you go to something that you're not accustomed go to something that you're not fairly accustomed to, and then you start and then once you start once you love once you begin to have a certain interest in it after the show is over, then it just kind of takes a life on its own in a sense. So for me, like going to my first indie show, like seeing the likes of like Joey Janela or like an Engage, for example. For example, it's just like, oh my god, it's like they do this, they do this too. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, which led to a couple be attending to like more indie shows, or more like major shows like an MLW or like an ROH, or like a New Japan show, or even even a Progress show before the pandemic. And it was like there's so many styles of wrestling that's out there. You don't have to like a certain type, or a certain promotion or a certain wrestler. You can just enjoy it all and just soak it in for at least 2 hours of break. And it's like it's so cool. It's so cool to like not only enjoy it but also appreciate the craft as well, and the men and women that do the damn thing, whether behind whether inside the squared circle or outside. It's like you just cultivate a sense of respect for these individuals, because it's like they put butts in seats, no matter if it's 5 people or 50 or 500 or even 5,000. Hell, even 50,000.
Yeah,
So it all makes sense at the end.
yeah. I always tell people, man, watch different promotions, man. Don't just stick to like. And like I said, this is not a stab at any promotion. Don't just stick to WWE and AEW. Yes, they're great,
Yeah.
from whatnot. But at the same time, there's there's other promotions out there. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. So I actually tell people like just watch different promotions, man. Um just watch like different like because you never know what there's a lot of moments in indie wrestling that you tend to like miss. Like for example, reality wrestling. They recently, well, not recently, but several years ago, they had Harlem Heat reunite.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
a lot of people didn't even know that.
Mm,
And yeah, so it was that's that. And then before that, you had Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor around that same time had Jay Lethal coming out with the Genius, and the Genius read the same royal decree that he read for his brother Randy Savage when he was alive and was the Macho King.
mm,
So that was a moment that it's moments like that that people would miss if I would have missed those moments if I was like, nah, I'm not gonna watch anything other than WWE. You know, so
mm,
yeah, it's always great to like be open to watching other like promotions or so, and even the smaller ones. Because I always tell people like if you're on the East Coast and you watch East Coast promotions, give West Coast promotions a try. And if you're on the West
yeah.
Coast, you know, give and the West Coast promotions. Well, give the East Coast promotions a try. You never know who you'll see. And there's no excuse. There's no excuse not to because you have so many outlets. You have YouTube. Obviously, that's the most basic one, most popular one.
Mm.
You have Fight TV. You have Title Match Network
Yeah, IWTV as well.
TV. I when I was in New York, when I first moved to New York, which was 10 years ago,
Hmm.
actually used to watch this show in Georgia. Anarchy Wrestling. That
Mm-hmm.
was Amelia Jordan. I'm in New York. When I went to when I was stationed in Japan for 3 years, I was watching several promotions. I was watching a promotion called the WCWC, the West Coast Wrestling Connection. They were
Yeah.
in Florida. I was also watching Reality of Wrestling in Texas. I was watching um, several others in the East Coast and all over. And I was in a whole other country doing this. So if I could do it from there, and also as a part of the United States Armed Forces, there should be no reason why anybody else can't do that. You know, it's just a matter of how bad you really want to know about what's out there in professional wrestling. You know,
Yeah.
I know about before Hammerstone. You probably know about Hammerstone. I knew
Yeah. Alex
Hammerstone.
Hammerstone.
I knew about Hammerstone before he got signed to MLW.
Mm.
I used to call him Thor number two. Or
Mm. He does look like Thor, yeah, to be honest.
I knew when he had long hair and he had no beard and long wrestling.
Ah.
He looked young and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other thing that's the other thing that I picked up. That like once I got that expanded knowledge of like okay, like seeing where these people come from, because back then it was like it's hard to like it was hard to like put two and two together if somebody came from a different promotion and it's like wait wasn't he uh. But now with the power of YouTube and the power of fight and IWTV or title match or like any of these other streaming platforms that give you hours of wrestling content. It's like okay, it's like all right, I'm able to do a little bit more due diligence because like before I even knew about Adam Cole, it was like hmm. I'm like, who is this Adam Cole person? And then I had to run the tapes back to the ROH archives, and I'm like, oh, that's him. That's him. And like same thing for like Kyle O'Reilly or like or like Bobby Fish or some people that show up in New Japan or some of the people that show up to Impact or like it's kind of like like I'll give some sort of a good analogy. It's like that. It's like you know how you like find a song on the radio and you try and it's like and you kind of had that moment. It's like this guy's nice with the bars. Or like this girl is nice with the nice with the lyrics or with the singing and whatever. It's like if that person has like it already has like an album or like a mixtape beforehand. Then it's like you're able to like go back to that person's catalog to see where everything started, and then work your way up to the present. That's kind of like how I went about it because I couldn't just like act like I knew who this person was if I didn't go back to the beginning and then work my way towards towards what this person is now. The name might have changed, the move set might have changed, the entrance might have changed, the company that he or she worked for might have changed. But you got but you have to but it's like I had to understand that it's like what the person that started in the beginning ain't the one that you see now. So for that, it's like I'm able to like really to really like soak it in and like get familiar with the person instead of just writing it off. It's like oh I don't know who this guy is. I don't care or it's like, ew, I don't like him because of this, that, and the third. Because like sometimes wrestling fans can get a little bit too nitpicky on certain things, and it just robs people of like the joy of like just enjoying the wrestling and just shutting the fuck up. sometimes. Excuse my language, but sometimes it just grinds people's gears. But everybody's entitled to it.
Here-
And everybody's entitled to like
Here's my thing.
different methods in which in which they discover like certain wrestlers that they like or they don't.
Here's my
So.
with here's my thing with that now with the whole fans having the. I can tell you right now, certain as much as we enjoy 50 minutes of fandom and we have fans on our show, there are
Hmm.
fans that just piss me off with the way they act, and it's just annoying. And I'm like for example, I saw somebody actually comment on I think somebody's suit. I forgot who it was, and
Hmm.
have you even trained to wrestle? Like, unless you have trained to wrestle, you have no rights critiquing anybody's move in professional wrestling. Not
Hmm.
say this. I'm gonna say this with all my gusto. 75% of these wrestling fans don't know what they're talking about when it comes to moves.
Hmm.
They've never, and I'm gonna be brave and say that 75% of these wrestling fans that like to critique have never been in that ring. They've never trained. They don't know what it is.
Hmm.
Talking like I've trained. No, I have not. I have never trained either. I've never stepped in a ring and trained either.
Not
But I'm
of us.
what I've seen, the ones that because I don't critique anybody's moves. I don't because I've never been in that situation. Rob will do that. Rob is actually a referee. He
Hmm.
I can't do that. But 75% of these fans that do that have never trained. And of the remaining 25%, I'm pretty sure half of them have probably trained, but they never graduated from wrestling school. So they don't even count either because they've never been able to be put in a position where you've had to wrestle in front of a live crowd and execute those moves. And that's what a lot of some of these fans need to learn to do is chill out, know your role, and just enjoy the show. You're entitled to your own opinion, yes. Hell,
Hmm.
critique somebody's gimmick.
Uh-huh.
I swear, top to bottom, that I could always make up great gimmicks for wrestlers. I swear on that. And I've even mentioned some of the angles that I've had. People are like, "Yo, that's pretty cool. That'd be a pretty cool way to do things," you know. But but who maybe one day I'll actually get that chance. But one thing I never do, I never critique anybody's work in the ring because I've never been there.
Hmm.
I've never even ran the ropes, so I know my role and I shut my mouth.
Yeah.
To wrestling fandom, and I can only imagine what you see on the Twitterverse because some of these fans, oh geez, and they feel like there's some that just go and watch and they do it the right way. If they really want to get involved, so that they go to wrestling school, they train hard, they graduate, and then they start taking their bookings, and then they take the place of the wrestlers they were watching from the other side of the guardrail.
Hmm.
And then there's those that want to, like myself, that have been a fan so long, but they don't want to do like the actual in ring stuff, so they go into media and they have a certain decorum. Because
Hmm.
some people with podcasts that I've noticed that have been very unprofessional. I remember a certain WB legend told me that there was one that completely wasted her time, and I was like, really? Wow, that he didn't know what he had on his hands because you're a legend. You. It was actually Princess Victoria. She was one half
Hmm.
of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions back in the '80s, and I'm like,
Hmm.
he did that. That person, I forgot who the person's name was, but I was like, really? Wow, okay. Um, I was like, yeah, that was it's crazy how some people would do that. Like, but yeah, like pretty much like some of these fans, man, they just need to learn how to chill, like, and you know, just be easy. Sit down, watch the show. If you don't like what you're seeing, turn the channel or don't go to the next show that place has. That's it. Simple. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to go and watch stuff. And it's some of them have this like clout chase and all that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's just my personal opinion. You know, and to each their own. Like
Yeah,
if they can get away, if that brings them joy, more power to them. But man, wrestling fandom, Twitter, like especially on Twitter,
yeah,
who
yes.
man, if I didn't have patience, probably would have been I probably would have had a high blood pressure, man. You know, it's just crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has some questions for you. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
Robbie
All right,
Rob.
sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, man? How's the day been for you?
The day's been wonderful. Had a day off of work. Had a day off of work. Did some errands. As I said, like in pre-production, me and my girlfriend just celebrated my cat's second birthday. So
Nice.
we took her out to the park and stuff. It was
Oh,
beautiful.
for real?
It
Oh, that's
was
cool.
beautiful.
So
So
they got like you got like a cat park out there, or is it like just a?
we wanted to take her out, even though the park we went to was mostly dogs, but they all had like collars and leashes and all that shit. So it was like
That's cool.
it was whatever. It was whatever, but it was nice. It was nice over the water to see the city and everything. So
That's good. That's good, man. So, did you get to catch any wrestling tonight, man? If you did, yeah, what'd you think of it? Because I didn't get to catch it, man. I'll catch it. I'll catch it tomorrow.
I'll
Should I
be
be excited?
Yeah, I kind of, we got back a little bit late. We got back a little bit late. But I didn't watch SmackDown. But judging from what Twitter had been saying, it's like SmackDown was the better show. Was the better show
Mm,
than Raw because every people because from what I gathered, well, from what I gathered, Shinsuke is is the next one to face Roman.
okay.
Number one. Uh, hmm. What else happened? What else happened that I saw? Liv Morgan beat Sasha Banks. Hmm.
Ooh,
I think that I think I could go back and go back and watch that tomorrow. Who else? Not that much else other than the announcement that Cody's gonna go up against the Miz on
okay. Yeah, that should be a
Monday.
nice match, man. Cody and the Miz.
Hmm. I'm just trying to think. Hmm. Did Cody and the Miz? Did Cody and the Miz fight for the Intercontinental? Did fight for the IC title at some point in time? I'm like, probably did.
I
Right?
can't remember.
Probably don't remember.
Probably.
I probably don't remember, but I probably need to like look back on it because I feel like they did. It's like
Yeah.
maybe they have
It's
some
one that yeah, I don't remember, but if you showed like a picture or a little clip or something, I'm like, oh, yep, there you go. I remember that. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, pretty
It's one of them
much.
things.
Pretty
That's
much.
right.
But but I did catch Rampage tonight. Um, they started with Brian Danielson versus Trent Beretta. That shit was good. That shit was good to start the show, and then what else happened? Swerve Strickland it took on QT Marshall, aka Jericho's Sports Entertainer of the Week. And then they announced some match and then they announced some matches for Dynamite on Wednesday, including because TK tweeted out something that is like this is a dream match that's been going on that's been like real like going on for years, but they're gonna have the ROH World Television title contested between Minoru Suzuki and Samoa Joe in New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans. Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
But not to get sidetracked. Not to get sidetracked. There's also going to be a tag match between Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. Plus the Texas Death match for the title between Adam Page and Adam Cole next Friday, but they're gonna do it earlier because I think the playoffs are starting next week.
Oh yeah, NBA. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. The
yeah.
playing tournament. I know they got the tournament. The playing tournament.
Oh yeah. I forgot they have those now.
Yeah, it's
So
like a 7, 8, 9, and 10 play or something like that.
yeah, one of those.
Whoever wins goes makes it something like that.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah, but it's but I think, and this is my opinion. I think TK is starting to like get the gist of like, okay, let me. Actually, before I even go there, I forgot Willow versus Red Velvet.
Mm,
Like I'm like, somebody in the name of God, please, is somebody sign Willow because she's
mm-hmm,
an incredible talent
mm-hmm.
to have.
Oh yeah,
Whether
Willow's awesome.
like on
Yeah, I know Willow. She wrestles for CCW. I get to see her every month, man. She's awesome.
listen, I've been following Willow for years. I saw her just recently at in DC in
Mhm.
DC, and
Was
boy,
that when she fought Grim? Was that when she fought Grim?
yes,
That was the
yes.
day after. Yeah, I seen her. Cause we had a show that day before, and I was like, cause that's my mom, my dad, my sister, and all. That's their favorite wrestler, Willow Nightingale. And I was like, yo,
Right.
my family, they're happy to see you here, man. They don't come here like, oh yeah, you're gonna ring announcer ref. Oh no, no, no. Is Willow gonna be there? Is Willow gonna be there? I was like, yeah. So they're happy you're going to see there. She's like, start doing a little bit jig dance. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
all right,
yeah. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. She's definitely an incredible talent. I wish she would have won. I wish she would have won because it was a dope match. But AEW going to do AEW things and all, but because it was for a spot in the Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah.
So of course, Red Velvet had to win. But back to that, I feel like Tony's getting the gist of like just like spacing things out, like wrestling and story and the story of backstage segment, and just spacing things out, spacing things out in a way where it's like there's a pretty much cohesive product when it comes to Dynamite, when it comes to Rampage, because Rampage be struck, Rampage be missable shows. Let's be honest about that. Like Rampage, like most episodes on Rampage are usually missable if there isn't anybody of like of some importance. Now the way Rampage was set up tonight, that got me thinking. I'm like, hmm, are we really gonna we're gonna like stack Rampage and then stack Dynamite on top of that? I'm like, hmm, all right. All right, but time will tell because he got two plates spinning at once. AEW on the right, ROH on the left. So I'm just trying to figure. We're all just trying to figure out how that's gonna like just be a return on investment type of thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm interested to see what he does with that too, man. If he scraps it or does he keep it around as another entity? Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, because like between now and probably double or nothing. We'll just have to see what comes up with that. But by summer's end, we'll get a better. a better picture of like of like how our ROH is going to get how ROH is going to get utilized and in what way.
That's right.
Because I feel like there's too much respect. There's too much respect for for what ROH has done, where ROH has been, and what it's done for the business. For it to just feel like it's just some back end is some back ended thing where it's like, it's not much, but the way it's starting to go, okay, okay, there's potential. How you gonna like you bound how you gonna use that potential and make it better? How you gonna make it? How you gonna like try? How you gonna try and like try to like make the best out of the best of both without having to like having to like clash with each other in a
That's right.
sense. So we'll
And I
see.
feel you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hopefully they don't mess it up, man. Hopefully they don't mess it up.
they
So
shouldn't.
I do got. Yeah. So I do gotta ask, man. The jobbers here, man. Like you were saying earlier, man. Y'all do all kinds of stuff, man. What's the next thing y'all have planned, man? Any other watch alongs? Any panels coming up that y'all know of?
Okay.
Anything you need to
Okay.
plug?
Well, anything that we do need to plug. Okay, well, number one, since Janelle is co-owner of Battle Club Pro, I feel like it's only appropriate that we plug Women Crush Wednesday #2. Um, Wednesday, April the 20th. Wednesday, April the 20th in Brooklyn. Um, we have a lot of talent coming through for this show, but it's gonna start with the with the fellas. With the pre-show called Welcome to New York City. They're gonna have some matches before the main show, including the Battle Club franchise champion Mick Drake, the Battle Club 5 Points champion Mr. Steve Pena, and the Battle Club Pro Tag Team champions, the main event. And as for the main show, there's a whole bunch of talent that's lined up, including the main event. Trisha Dora, the Pan African World Diaspora champion, versus Big Swole
Mm,
for the Icons championship.
mm,
We also have people like Tasha Steele, people like Savannah Evans, Willow Nightingale, Brooke Valentine, um, who else? Gia Scott. Um, there's a whole bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of people that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's gonna be a jam packed show. And oh, Lady Frost, Masha Slamovich as well.
mm.
So April 20th, doors open at 5. Bell time is gonna be at 6:30 for the pre-show, and then the main event is gonna start at 8. And then the next then the next the next viewing party will be WrestleMania Backlash on May the 8th. We haven't really started on like flyer, but we're gonna get to that. So stay tuned and don't say I didn't tell you, but Jobber Slam 2 is
Mm.
coming. We're making
Uh-oh.
a sequel. We're making a sequel.
That's right.
So August 2022, Jobber Slam #2. And we're trying to get as much details ironed out before we officially give y'all the deets on what the card gonna look like. So just just hold on to your hats. We're gonna get whatever information we can on that front. So I think that's about it for now.
Shoot, sounds good to me, man. Sounds like y'all busy and got your thing going, man. Y'all about to do the thing, man. So, before I pass on back to Remy, I do want to say, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on chat with us. Had a blast chatting wrestling and all that good stuff. And yeah, I wish y'all nothing but the best, man. I hope y'all blow up, get nationwide, do all that stuff, man. Y'all have doing shows from East Coast to West Coast, North and South, man. I hope y'all, start getting worldwide, all that, man.
Listen, we out here. We just doing the best that we can. Not just for us, but for people the people who just love wrestling and to see people win for the most part. Oh, oh. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. Um, Um, I think this weekend, the year our other compadres over at the Year Sports Show they're celebrating their 100th episode. So they're gonna be recording their 100th. They're gonna record their 100th episode. The episode should drop next week. So congrats to them. Congrats to Big Baby Dre, BK Matt, the voice of a generation, Mr. Peter Rosado, and Queen Tay of the Year Sports Show for this accomplishment. Yes, Job Materials Network is thriving right now. So I would be damned if I didn't mention that. So check them out. Wonderful people talking sports and all that shit. You know, we just do what we do. No, what we do best. Like we just try our hardest to bring wrestling bring wrestling to more to not only more eyes but also bring some awareness as well.
Dre, man. First time I met Dre, I said, man, for some reason you remind me of Keith. You remind me of Keith Lee, man. I don't know why, but like for some reason he reminds me of Keith Lee. I don't know, but yeah, but hey, yeah, man. Like y'all are awesome, man. Y'all keep doing great things. And I saw Janelle. It was at House of Glory earlier. I think it was last month. And I was like, how come you told me you was co-owner of like, like Battle Club, man? Like I would have been had you on the show by now, man. Like,
Listen. The offer was presented at the first Jobber Slam last summer, and then the next event, she took the opportunity, and now look at where she is now. So at least you know now.
yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
Never to know.
I'm gonna definitely check it out. If I'm still in New York during the summertime, which I may or may not. I don't know. I mean, not anything like morbid, but like I could be getting a job where that takes me out of New York. If I'm still here, I would definitely try to check out Jobbers time because I remember y'all had a good turnout last time. I mean, I wasn't there because I was stationed in North Carolina at the time, couldn't make it. But I know last time y'all had a great turnout. I'll try to make this one because I heard nothing but great things about it and so on. And
don't miss this
no.
Jobber Slam because
Hey,
the thing about Jobber Slam that was probably like one of the blackest cards
but
we've had like in the tri-state area, and
we
it's
all
like
also want to know why I gravitate towards y'all because I don't know about you. And if you are, let me know. But me, Wilkins, Sir Wilkins, Mr. Black, and Janelle, we all have that West Indian connection. We're from that West Indian culture. I'm
mm,
Guyanese. I don't know if you're of descent as well. But we're all of that West Indian. So when I saw like, oh snap, yo, these two from the same region and I'm at, I'm like, they West Indian and they doing it. They another business. I'm like, let me go and support them. Let me go ahead and head over there. do my thing, So that's just how it was for me. So I see job this time. I'm in town. I'm definitely gonna be there. I've gone to like New Jersey for like shows before, and you
Hmm.
it ain't nothing new. I'll definitely make it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely go because like a lot of people showed mad love when it came to Jobber Slam from black wrestling to those wrestling girls to all these other sponsors that just came through. They came through to support us. Not only them, but also like the people that were involved in like putting it all together and also like getting in that squared circle and just putting on a fantastic show. Also, another one I didn't forget. Like if anybody has missed last year's Jobber Slam, most of the matches that took place are on YouTube. They're on the Jobbeteers YouTube.
So you said April 20th. That's what's that again?
Women Crush Wednesday too.
That's a whole event, right?
Huh?
That's a whole
That,
event.
that's Battle Club Pro. Like that's the next event they're gonna have.
April 20th. When's April 20th? That's a Thursday, right?
Wednesday. That's a Wednesday.
So I'm tripping away. And is that in Brooklyn or is that in New Jersey?
Brooklyn.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely. I should be able to make that. I should be off on Wednesday. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to make that. I live in Brooklyn, so it's,
Hey,
it's probably around the corner from me or a couple of train stops away. So I'm gonna
yeah,
try to make that. And
tickets are on sale. Like I heard half of the front row is sold out. So y'all,
I just need to get a seat, man. Or I just need to be there, man. You know what I'm saying? Besides, last time I did front row, I lost my seat because I didn't get the front row to two wrestlers. So yeah, I'm happy staying in the back and whatnot.
listen. As long as you're able to see everything that the show has to offer, then you ain't got no complaints here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, y'all definitely heard the man. We got a lot of interesting stuff coming up. If you're in New York, make sure you check it out. They're doing it. They're not just doing it for us. They're doing it for the wrestling community as well. And, if you want something fresh, something that represents the culture, check them out. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut the show down. But before we do that, I just gotta say, it was an honor having you on the show. Thank you very much. I know you're busy with volunteers and y'all are planning out next steps and whatnot. But we really truly appreciate you taking time out to just sit down and shoot the breeze with us regarding wrestling and wrestling as well. Before we actually shut the show down, though, where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out when the next job opportunity is, or
Oh,
even go ahead.
oh yes, yes. Of course, everybody can find the Jobbeteers podcast on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube at the Jobbeteers podcast. For news and updates and live tweets and all sorts of stuff that you want to know, including like all of our episodes, events and whatever you may call it. So head on, support the Jobbeteers and Rob, Remy, like I'll just take a page out of Sir Wilkins and Janelle's book. It's like I shouldn't be the one thanking y'all. I should be the one that should be doing the thanking. It's like wait, let me rewind. I should be the one thanking y'all for giving me the opportunity because it's like without y'all there wouldn't be no us. Okay. Like it takes a village. It's like we couldn't do all this shit ourselves. So it's the people that come to like support us, to ride for us, to like get us to where we need to be. So thank y'all so much.
Yeah, and hey, I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna probably say it to Rob. If y'all ever need an extra MP, this man can right next to me, Rob. He's a definitely he's available, man. He's definitely a reliable guy. Like, he's hardworking. If y'all ever need an extra MP, hit him up.
Listen,
He's right
listen,
there. He's right there in Delaware, so he's not that far either.
listen. When we need some extra hands, we gonna need some extra hands. So you're gonna be on that list for sure.
But yeah. Yeah. Where can fans find you? I don't think I got that part.
Ooh, okay. Besides the JTP, like me personally, okay, you can find me on Instagram at is drops knowledge, all in one word, and find me on Twitter at King is the first.
Awesome. Y'all heard, Smash on social media. You can give him a follow. He's part of an amazing group. Amazing group. So you definitely don't want to miss it, especially if you live in New York. So definitely check them out and keep tabs on what they're doing because I've been to a few of their events. They're that damn. So with that being said, um, it's about time to shut the show down. Eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. I'm midnight snack and nap. Maybe not that.
Oh, oh yeah, it's definitely past midnight.
But but before I indulge in activities, Rob Bass, my brother from another mother, Doug Gibson to my Kenny Glover, Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin, Tommy, Tommy to my goats. Where can fans find you on social media? If you want to talk wrestling, find out any experiences, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, you can book it for promoting for when you want to book it for their shows.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at Rob_base82, and then Facebook, YouTube, Rob Base.
Awesome. And if you want to find me on social media, I have anything big stuff. Who knows? Maybe you can watch some videos. Cool. You can find me on Twitter at @erennyblue. You can also find me on Instagram at @erennyblue. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. Our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society. We also have a Facebook group, and we're on Spotify, we're on Blog Talk. We also have a YouTube channel, which is where you can find most of our content. Once you go on YouTube, type in Inside Society, you'll see that suit, OMG, dark blue and light blue unit, so the three flames around it. Definitely, support all our videos. We have a lot of cool interviews like this one with Mr. Black, and many other people that 50 minutes and as our main guests. So, like I said, we got a lot of things coming up. So make sure you subscribe to the videos because you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But that being said, also one more thing, we also have the Teespring stores, so official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, we have tank tops, we have hoodies, we have long sleeve shirts, we even have coffee mugs for your favorite warm beverage. So definitely check out our stores, cop some merchandise. All proceeds from those sales go back into keeping our show afloat. Doesn't go back into our pockets. With that being said, I just
Oh,
want
look, one more thing. Sorry to interrupt.
to go ahead.
Almost forgot. Also, check out Sir Wilkins and Alex Queen of the Ring for Complex Unsanctioned every Monday and Wednesday at 10 o'clock on Spotify Green Room. We last week we just had they just had Bianca Belair, the new Raw Women's Champion. So you never know who's going to show up in that space. So check out Sir Wilkins and Alex Queen of the Ring at Complex Unsanctioned. Monday and Wednesday, 10 o'clock Eastern on Spotify Green Room. And also check the Java Cheers podcast out on all social media, on all streaming platforms,
Yeah.
Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, everything. My name.
You know, I'm gonna play instigator. I want. It'll be funny if Bow Wow ends up on that complex
Oh,
podcast one of these days.
no, nah. We tried. We tried to tell him, but he out there playing. He out there talking shit. Like
Yeah,
for now, he's still a lost cause until he actually like really it really is serious. Otherwise, we ain't taking that nigga serious. I ain't sorry. We ain't sorry. Logan
yeah.
said Logan's trying to tell everybody that, but now ain't nobody we found in the wrestling ring. So
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, man. But once again, to those of y'all that are listening, that listen to us live, thank you very much. To those of y'all that are gonna listen to us later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really truly wish we go away. Well, like myself in the Border Corral and Rob Bass at the Top of the Festival, we ain't going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We
uh,
ain't. But with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we are very well aware that everybody on the grandparents and the parents of our podcast, we're not your grandparents podcast. We're not your parents podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. We are raw based. One time for the mind, one time for the people, and one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for our special guest tonight is the Wiz of the Jabba Tears podcast, who are doing it big like nobody's business.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back. We will be back next week with more impressive guests. But until then, we just want y'all to do us four favors, and that is stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.